Man, look at this. My wife in red. Tell me she's not the hottest one here. That's what Ryan said, laughing as he showed his friends a private photo of Aisha, his wife, posing playfully in a sexy red outfit. A photo meant only for him. He thought he was being proud. But what followed wasn't admiration. It was betrayal, humiliation, and a moment that shattered trust in front of everyone at a simple backyard barbecue. When Aisha walked up and realized what he had done, the world stopped. That one careless act didn't just hurt her, it cost him everything. His reputation, his career, and the woman who once trusted him blindly. This is not just a story about jealousy or a photo. It's about control, race, dignity, and the painful price of turning love into possession. If this moved you, please share it with someone who needs to hear it. And if you believe in stories that heal, uplift, and expose hard truths, subscribe now. We've got more to tell. The soft glow of the living room lamp cast warm shadows across the plush couch where Aisha lounged, her fingers scrolling lazily through her phone's photo album. The images flickered by. Vacation snapshots from last summer, her in a sleek black bikini that hugged her curves. The sun kissing her deep brown skin as she laughed into the camera. Ryan had taken those, his voice teasing behind the lens. Damn, babe, you're a goddess. She smiled at the memory, feeling a rush of pride in her body, her heritage. As a black woman navigating a world that often tried to dim her shine, these private moments felt like affirmations of love, intimate treasures shared only between them. Aisha Wilson was the kind of woman who turned heads without trying. At 30, she thrived in her marketing role at a bustling firm, crafting campaigns that celebrated diversity and community. Her days were filled with brainstorming sessions, event planning, and networking lunches where her infectious energy drew people in. She loved it, the buzz, the creativity, the way she could infuse her passion for social causes into her work. But home was her sanctuary, a modest suburban house with a manicured lawn and a kitchen that always smelled of spices from her grandmother's recipes. The front door clicked open, and Ryan stepped in, loosening his tie with a sigh. He was her contrast in every way. Tall, fair-skinned, with sharp blue eyes and a corporate polish that screamed success. Working in finance, he climbed ladders with calculated precision, always mindful of perceptions. They'd met in college, in a sociology class where debates on race and privilege sparked their first conversation. What started as heated arguments evolved into late-night talks, then stolen kisses. 5 years of marriage later, they were the picture of interracial bliss, or so it seemed. "Hey, beautiful," Ryan called, kicking off his shoes and crossing the room. He carried a bouquet of lilies, her favorite, plucked from the corner florist on his way home. Aisha set her phone aside and rose to meet him, wrapping her arms around his neck. His embrace was firm, possessive in a way that once felt protective, but lately carried a subtle edge. "Dinner's almost ready," she murmured, inhaling his cologne. "How was your day?" "Same old grind. Meetings, spreadsheets, the usual." He kissed her forehead, then pulled back to study her face. "You? Any exciting pitches today?" She nodded, her curls bouncing. "We landed that community outreach project. It's going to highlight Black-owned businesses. I'm leading the visuals." Ryan's smile was genuine, but his eyes flicked to her phone on the couch. "That's my girl. Just be careful with those networking events. Some guys can get too friendly." Aisha laughed it off, though a tiny flicker of annoyance stirred. It wasn't the first time he'd probed about her colleagues, especially the men. "Babe, it's work. Come on, let's eat." They settled at the dining table, plates steaming with grilled chicken and collard greens. Conversation flowed easily, Ryan recounting a funny client mishap, Aisha sharing ideas for her next campaign. But underneath, Ryan's questions lingered. Who was on the team? Any after-work drinks planned? He framed them as concern, but Aisha sensed the undercurrent, like he was mapping her every move. As they cleared the dishes, Ryan's phone buzzed. He glanced at the screen and grinned. "Hey, remember my old college buddies? They're throwing a barbecue this weekend. You in?" Aisha's eyes lit up. "Absolutely, I could use some downtime. Who's coming?" "The usual crew. Mike, Dave, a few others from the frat days. It'll be low-key, Beers and burgers. He wrapped his arms around her waist from behind as she rinsed plates. You'll be the star, as always. She leaned into him, warmth spreading through her. Social gatherings were her element. She thrived on connections, laughter echoing over shared stories. Ryan had introduced her to his circle early on, and while they were mostly white guys from privileged backgrounds, she'd carved her space with charm and wit. Still, she couldn't shake the occasional vibe that Ryan paraded her like a trophy, his exotic wife who turned conversations multicultural. Later in the bedroom, Aisha slipped into a silk nightgown, her skin glowing under the dim light. Ryan joined her, pulling her close under the covers. You know, I was scrolling through our photos earlier, she whispered. That trip to the beach. We should do it again. He nuzzled her neck. Yeah? Those pics of you in that bikini, fire. But they're just for us, right? Of course, she replied, though his tone held a possessive note that made her pause. She pushed it aside, focusing on the comfort of his arms. As sleep crept in, Aisha dreamed of sunlit futures, family vacations, career milestones, a life built on mutual respect. Ryan, however, lay awake longer, staring at the ceiling. The barbecue loomed in his mind, his friends' admiring glances from past events replaying. Aisha was magnetic, her confidence a beacon that drew eyes. He loved her for it, but a knot of insecurity twisted in his gut. What if they saw her the way he did? Too desirable, too free? He pulled her closer, vowing silently to keep her grounded, safe in his world. The next morning dawned bright, sunlight filtering through the curtains. Aisha stretched, already planning her outfit for the weekend. A casual sundress that flattered her figure without trying too hard. Work called, but her thoughts drifted to the gathering. It would be fun, a chance to unwind. Ryan, sipping coffee at the kitchen island, watched her move with that effortless grace. You excited for Saturday? Definitely. It'll be nice to catch up with your friends. She kissed him goodbye, grabbing her bag. As she drove to the office, Aisha blasted her favorite playlist, singing along to empowering anthems. Life felt full, balanced. Little did she know the cracks in their foundation were widening, subtle but insidious. Ryan lingered at the table, his phone in hand. He opened their shared album, thumbing through the sexy shots from their honeymoon. Aisha in lingerie, her smile radiant. Beautiful, he thought, but a whisper of doubt crept in. Would his buddies appreciate her like he did, or covet what was his? He shook it off, heading to work, but the seed of jealousy had taken root. By evening, preparations for the barbecue began. Aisha ironed her dress, humming. Ryan helped, but his mind raced. Wear something comfortable, he suggested, eyeing her choices. Nothing too flashy. She raised an eyebrow. This is fine. Relax, babe. He forced a laugh, but inside the unease festered. The weekend approached like a storm on the horizon, promising casual fun, but harboring tensions that could shatter their idyllic facade. In the quiet of their home, as stars dotted the sky, Aisha snuggled against Ryan, oblivious to the shadows gathering. She dreamed of laughter and connection, while he wrestled with fears that would soon erupt, testing the very bonds they cherished. The morning light filtered through the curtains, stirring Aisha from her dreams of sun-drenched beaches and carefree laughter. She stretched languidly, the silk sheets whispering against her skin, before swinging her legs over the side of the bed. Ryan was already up, the faint clink of coffee mugs echoing from the kitchen. She padded downstairs in her robe, her curls tousled, feeling the familiar comfort of routine wrap around her, like a warm embrace. Morning, babe, she said, sliding onto a stool at the island. Ryan turned, handing her a steaming cup. Black with a dash of cinnamon, just how she liked it. His smile was easy, but his eyes held a shadow from the night before. Sleep well? He asked, leaning in for a kiss. Like a rock. You? He shrugged, sipping his own brew. Yeah, just thinking about the barbecue. Should be fun. Aisha nodded, her mind already buzzing with the day's agenda. Work awaited, finalizing visuals for the outreach project. But the weekend loomed like a promise of relaxation. She pulled out her phone, scrolling through emails while Ryan watched her over the rim of his mug. Her fingers paused on an old photo notification, a reminder of their shared album. That bikini shot again, popping up in her memories. She smiled inwardly, but Ryan's gaze lingered a beat too long. "You checking work stuff already?" he asked, his tone casual. "Just quick replies. Oh, and I might swing by the studio after lunch. Got some sketches to finish for fun." Ryan's brow furrowed slightly. He set his cup down, crossing his arms. "The studio? That's your art thing, right? You sure you have time? Weekend's coming up." Aisha looked up, catching the edge in his voice. "It's just a hobby, Ryan. Relaxes me." "Why?" He hesitated, then forced a chuckle. "Nothing. Just, you spend a lot of time on that. More than on us sometimes." She tilted her head, a spark of irritation flaring. "Babe, it's not like that. Art's my outlet. Helps me recharge for everything else, including us." Ryan nodded, but his mind raced back to the photos, to her vibrant energy that drew eyes wherever she went. Her black beauty, so striking against his world's muted tones, made him feel both proud and possessive. What if her outlets led to distractions? He pushed the thought down, changing the subject. "Fair enough. Hey, let's plan what to bring to the barbecue. Potato salad?" The tension eased as they brainstormed, Aisha suggesting her signature cornbread. But as she dressed for work, a tailored blouse that accentuated her figure, Ryan couldn't help glancing at her reflection in the mirror. She was radiant, her skin glowing with that effortless allure. He loved it, but the knot in his stomach tightened. In his circle, where sameness reigned, she stood out like a flame, and flames attracted moths. At the office, Aisha dove into her day, her desk a whirlwind of color swatches and digital mock-ups. The outreach project excited her, spotlighting Black entrepreneurs, weaving stories of resilience into branding. During a team huddle, her colleague Jamal, a sharp-dressed brother with a quick wit, leaned over. "Aisha, your ideas are killing it. That tagline? Gold." She grinned. "Thanks, man. We make a good team." Back home that evening, as she recounted the compliment over dinner, Ryan's fork paused midair. "Jamal said that? The guy who always likes your posts?" Aisha blinked. "Yeah, why? It's professional." He set his utensil down, his voice measured. "Just asking. He seems attentive." There it was, the subtle probe wrapped in concern. Aisha felt a familiar twinge. "Ryan, it's work. You're reading too much into it." He reached for her hand. "I know, babe. I trust you. It's them I don't always trust." She squeezed back, but the words lingered like a cloud. To lighten the mood, she pulled out her phone, sharing a sexy photo from their album, a candid of her in a form-fitting dress from date night. "Remember this? Let's recreate it soon." Ryan's eyes softened, but his thumb hovered over the screen. "Yeah, hot as hell. But keep these between us, okay? Not for sharing." "Of course," she replied, puzzled. "Who would I share with?" He laughed it off, but inside the jealousy simmered. Her allure, her independence, it was intoxicating yet threatening. In his world of white-collar predictability, Aisha was a wild card. Her black excellence, a reminder of differences he sometimes feared others might exploit. The next day blurred into preparations. Aisha hit the gym, her body moving with rhythmic power, weights clanging, sweat beading on her mahogany skin. She felt strong, alive. Ryan joined her occasionally, but today he stayed home, ostensibly to mow the lawn. In truth, he scrolled through their photos again, his mind wandering to the barbecue. Mike and Dave would be there, the guys who'd ribbed him about scoring such a stunner. Their jokes masked envy, he was sure. By Friday evening, the air hummed with anticipation. Aisha tried on outfits in the bedroom mirror, a breezy sundress that skimmed her thighs, perfect for the warm weather. Ryan walked in, his expression shifting from appreciation to caution. "That one? It's a bit short, don't you think?" She turned, hands on hips. "It's comfortable. What's the issue?" He backpedaled. "Nothing. You look amazing. Just, the guys might stare." Aisha's patience thinned. "Let them. I'm with you, aren't I?" The words hung, a quiet challenge. Ryan pulled her into a hug. "Yeah, you are. Sorry, babe. I'm being stupid." But as they loaded the car with picnic supplies the next morning, his unease persisted. The drive to the barbecue was filled with light chatter. Aisha blasting R&B tunes, singing along with soulful abandon. Ryan gripped the wheel, stealing glances. Her joy was magnetic, but it amplified his fears. What if his friends saw her spark and wanted a piece? They pulled up to the sprawling backyard, smoke rising from the grill, laughter echoing. Mike spotted them first, waving. "Ryan! Aisha, get over here!" Aisha stepped out, her dress fluttering in the breeze, drawing smiles and hellos. "Hey, everyone! Bought cornbread, fresh from the oven." The group enveloped her, hugs, compliments on her baking. Ryan hung back a moment, watching. She fit in seamlessly, her warmth bridging any gaps. But as beers flowed and stories unfolded, he felt the familiar tug. Dave clapped him on the back. "Man, your wife's a keeper. How'd you land her?" Ryan forced a grin. "Luck, I guess." Inside, the seed sprouted. As the afternoon wore on, Aisha mingled, her laughter ringing out during a game of cornhole. Ryan joined in, but his eyes tracked every interaction. A friendly arm touch from Mike, a shared joke with Dave. By mid-afternoon, beers in hand, the guys huddled near the cooler. Aisha excused herself to grab more chips from the kitchen, weaving through the yard. Ryan, buzzed and emboldened, pulled out his phone. "Guys, check this out. Aisha's got that fire. Here's proof." He swiped to the album, zooming in on a photo. Her in a sexy red top and shorts, posing playfully. "Sexy as hell, right?" Mike chuckled awkwardly. "Whoa, Ryan, that's personal." Dave glanced around. "Yeah, man, maybe put it away." But another guy leaned in, smirking. "Damn, she's fine." The laughter was forced, the air thick. Unbeknownst to Ryan, Aisha emerged from the house, approaching from behind the group, a bowl of snacks in hand. Her steps slowed as snippets reached her ears. His voice, the photo description, the murmurs. Her heart plummeted. Her heart plummeted. A sickening drop that stole her breath. Aisha froze mid-step, the bowl of chips trembling in her hands as Ryan's words sliced through the air like a blade. "Sexy as hell, right?" His voice, laced with booze-fueled bravado, carried over the group's murmurs. She couldn't see the screen from her angle, but she knew. Those photos, the ones meant for his eyes only. Her in that red top and shorts, playful, intimate, now paraded like a trophy. The world narrowed to a pinpoint. The guy's awkward chuckles, Mike shifting uncomfortably, Dave's forced grin fading. One of them, Tom was it, muttered, "Ryan, come on, man." But it was too late. Aisha's ears rang, heat flushing her cheeks as betrayal coiled in her gut. How could he? Those images were sacred, whispers of their private world, not fodder for his ego. She stepped forward, her voice cracking like thunder in the sudden hush. "What the hell are you doing?" The group whipped around, faces paling. Ryan's phone slipped from his grip, clattering to the grass. His eyes widened, the buzz draining from his expression. "Aisha, babe, it's nothing. Just showing the guys how lucky I am." "Lucky?" She set the bowl down hard on a nearby table, chips scattering. Her hands shook, but she held her ground, voice rising. "You mean showing off photos of me in sexy clothes? Private photos, Ryan? In front of everyone?" The backyard fell silent, the sizzle of the grill the only sound. Heads turned, wives and girlfriends from the other side of the yard glancing over, curiosity turning to discomfort. Mike cleared his throat, backing away. We'll give you space." But Aisha wasn't done. "No, stay. Apparently my husband thinks it's fine to share my body like it's public property." She snatched the phone from the ground, swiping to confirm. Yes, there it was, her image glowing on the screen. Tears pricked her eyes, but anger burned hotter. "You think this makes you look good? Like I'm some prize to flaunt?" Ryan stumbled forward, hands raised. "I was joking, okay? They were complimenting you earlier, and I got carried away. I'm sorry." "Sorry?" Her laugh was bitter, echoing her pain. "You violated me, Ryan. Those photos were for us, for you, not for your buddies to gawk at." She thrust the phone back at him, her dark eyes flashing. "Is this because I'm black? Because I stand out in your white boy club? You have to prove you own me?" The accusation hung heavy, the group exchanging uneasy glances. Dave rubbed his neck. Ryan, that's messed up. Apologize properly. But Ryan's face twisted, defensiveness kicking in. It's not like that. I love how you look. Sexy, confident. I was proud. And yeah, maybe I got jealous seeing them eye you up. Aisha's stomach churned. Jealous? This wasn't protection. It was possession. She thought of all the subtle digs, the questions about her colleagues, the warnings about her outfits. It clicked now. A pattern of control masked his care. Proud? You humiliated me, made me feel like an object. One of the wives, Lisa, approached cautiously. Aisha, you okay? That was out of line. She nodded shakily, but inside she reeled. The betrayal stung deeper than words. Her trust shattered in a casual backyard moment. Ryan reached for her arm. Let's talk inside, please. She jerked away. Don't touch me. Turning on her heel, she stormed toward the house, ignoring the whispers rippling through the crowd. I'm leaving. Ryan followed, pleading. Babe, wait. It was a stupid mistake. But she didn't stop, grabbing her purse from the kitchen counter. The drive home blurred through tears, her mind a whirlwind. How had they gotten here? From college sweethearts to this, him reducing her to pixels on a screen for validation. Back at the house, she slammed the door, sinking onto the couch. Her phone buzzed, text from Lisa. I'm so sorry, that was wrong. But nothing from Ryan yet. She curled up, hugging her knees, the weight of exposure crushing her. Those photos, once symbols of intimacy, are now tainted. She felt exposed, her black body commodified in a space where she already fought to belong. Hours ticked by. Ryan finally burst in, disheveled, the party evidently abandoned. Aisha, please, let me explain. She stood, arms crossed. Explain what? How did you think it was okay to share my sexy photos without asking? In front of your friends? He paced, running his hands through his hair. I was drunk, okay? They were talking about how great you are, and I wanted to show off, but yeah, maybe I was jealous. You're so damn attractive, and in my world, guys notice. Your world? She scoffed. The one where I'm the exotic wife? You think because I'm black, you have to mark your territory? Ryan flinched. That's not fair. I love you, all of you. But seeing them look at you, it got to me. Fair. You violated my privacy. Her voice broke. Those photos were trust, Ryan. You broke it. He dropped to the couch, head in hands. I know. I'm an idiot. Forgive me. But forgiveness felt miles away. Not tonight. I need space. She retreated to the guest room, locking the door. Sleep evaded her, memories flashing, his probing questions, the possessive hugs. It wasn't just the photos, it was the pattern, the subtle erosion of her autonomy. Morning brought no relief. Ryan knocked softly. Coffee? She emerged, eyes puffy. We need to talk, really talk. Over breakfast, he poured out apologies. I swear it won't happen again. I deleted the photos from my phone. Deleted? She stared. That's not the point. The damage is done. Your friends saw them. What if they tell others? Ryan paled. They wouldn't. They're good guys. But doubt seeded. By afternoon, the first ripple hit. A call from Mike's wife. Heard about last night. Ryan's in hot water with the group. Aisha sighed. Yeah, it's a mess. Word spread like wildfire through their social web. At work the next day, a colleague who knew Dave casually mentioned, heard there was drama at your barbecue. Everything okay? Her cheeks burned. Tin John, gossip, traveled fast in their interconnected circles. Ryan faced it too. His boss pulled him aside. Personal issues affecting your focus? Sort it out. The isolation crept in. Friends distanced, invitations dried up. Ryan's mother called, voice stern. What were you thinking, son? Sharing private photos of your wife? You sound like your father, always needing to control. He hung up, shaken. Mom compared me to Dad, the abuser. Aisha, overhearing, softened slightly. Maybe she's right. This isn't just jealousy, it's deeper. But healing felt distant. She sought solace in her art, sketching furious lines that captured her rage. The community group her sister recommended beckoned, a space for black women to share burdens. As days blurred, the fallout deepened. Ryan lost a golf outing invite. Aisha fielded sympathetic glances at the grocery store. The betrayal's echo lingered, a fracture in their foundation. Yet amid the pain, Aisha felt a spark. Resolve. She wouldn't shrink. This was her story now, to reclaim. The spark flickered to life in the quiet hours that followed, a defiant ember amid the ashes of her trust. Aisha rose from the guest room bed at dawn, her body heavy but her mind sharpening like a blade. She wouldn't let this define her. Not the humiliation, not the whispers already snaking through their social veins. Slipping into yoga pants and a tank top, she unrolled her mat in the living room, breathing through poses that grounded her. Each stretch pulled at the knots of anger, reminding her of her strength, her black resilience forged in fires hotter than one man's betrayal. Ryan stirred in the master bedroom, the creak of floorboards betraying his restless night. He emerged disheveled with dark circles under his eyes, clutching a mug of coffee like a lifeline. "Aisha, can we talk?" She paused mid-downward dog, rising slowly. "What more is there to say? You crossed a line." He set the mug down, approaching cautiously. "I know. Last night. God, I'm sorry. I deleted every photo. Swear." Her laugh was hollow. "Deleted? Ryan, your friends saw me. My body in those sexy outfits. You turned our intimacy into a spectacle. How do I face them now?" He winced, sinking onto the couch. "They won't say anything. I talked to Mike. He feels bad. Said it was my screw-up." "But it's out there," she snapped, rolling up her mat. "Gossip doesn't need proof. It's already spreading." As if on cue, her phone buzzed, a text from her sister Nia. "Heard from a friend of a friend about the barbecue drama. You okay? Come stay if you need." Aisha's chest tightened. Nia lived across town, a haven of sisterly support. "See? It's starting." Ryan's face crumpled. "Babe, please. It was the beer. The guy's egging me on. I got jealous, stupid jealous. You're so vibrant and in my circle. Sometimes I feel like I have to prove you're mine." "Mine?" She whirled on him. "I'm not property, Ryan. And if this is about race, me being black in your white world, then say it. You think showing off my sexy photos makes you the big man? Like I'm your exotic conquest?" He buried his face in his hands. "No, I love you because you're you. Strong, beautiful. But yeah, maybe the differences get to me. Seeing Dave flirt or whatever, it hit hard." "Flirt?" He asked about my cornbread recipe. Aisha paced, her voice rising. "This isn't jealousy, it's control. You've been doing it forever. Questioning my outfits, my friends, my art time. I ignored it, thinking it was love. But love doesn't expose you." Ryan stood, pleading. "I'll change. Therapy, whatever it takes. Don't leave." But she needed air, space to breathe. Grabbing her keys, she headed to work, the drive a blur of replayed scenes. At the office, focus eluded her. Sketches for the project blurred through unshed tears. Jamal noticed during lunch. "You all right? Looks like you carried the world today." She hesitated, then spilled a sanitized version. "Husband drama. He shared something private." Jamal nodded sympathetically. "Sounds rough. If it's control stuff, talk to someone. My sis went through that. Found a group for black women dealing with relationship BS." The idea stuck. By afternoon, Aisha texted Nia. "Coming over tonight. Need sis time." Back home, packing an overnight bag, Ryan hovered. "Where are you going?" "Nia's. I can't stay here right now." He blocked the door gently. "Please, let's fix this." "Not until you fix you," she said, pushing past. The door clicked shut behind her, a punctuation to their fracture. At Nia's cozy apartment, the scent of jasmine tea welcomed her. Nia pulled her into a hug. "Girl, spill." Over mugs, Aisha recounted it all. The photos, the barbecue, the racial undercurrents. "He treats me like a prize sometimes, like my blackness is something to showcase or guard." Nia shook her head. "That's toxic. Remember Mom's stories? Dad tried controlling her until she left. You deserve better." They talked late, Nia sharing contacts for a local support group. Black women healing from emotional crap. Go! It's empowering. Meanwhile, Ryan paced the empty house, the silence deafening. His phone lit up with a call from his boss. Heard through the grapevine about personal issues. Take Monday off. Get your head straight. We can't have distractions. The grapevine? He called Mike. Dude, who's talking? Mike sighed. Everyone, man. Dave told his wife. She mentioned it at book club. Tom's coworker knows your office, folks. It's buzzing. Ryan groaned. Gossip's web tightened. His golf buddy canceled plans, citing family stuff. Isolation bit hard. His mother arrived unannounced that evening, her face etched with disappointment. Ryan, what have you done? Sharing intimate photos of Aisha? In front of friends? He collapsed into a chair. Mom, it was a mistake. I was showing off, jealous. She sat across, eyes piercing. Jealous? That's your father's excuse. He'd parade me at parties, then accuse me of flirting. Control wrapped in compliments. You're repeating it. Dad? Ryan's voice cracked. I'm not like him. You are if you don't stop. She gripped his hand. Aisha's a gem. Strong, kind. If you love her, let her go if needed. But fix yourself first. Tears welled as memories surfaced. His father's rages, his mother's quiet endurance. Had he inherited that poison? The thought sickened him. Across town, Aisha joined Nia for a walk in the park, the evening air cooling her thoughts. I feel exposed, like my body's not mine anymore. Nia linked arms. It is yours. Reclaim it. Start with that group tomorrow. They meet at the community center. Aisha nodded, resolve hardening. The pain lingered, but so did her fire. She wouldn't fade into victimhood. She'd rise, rewriting her narrative. Ryan, alone with his regrets, stared at their wedding photo on the mantel. Aisha's smile beamed back, a reminder of what he'd jeopardized. He Googled therapists, booking an appointment. Change started now, or he'd lose her forever. As night fell, Aisha slept fitfully at Nia's, dreaming of freedom. The road ahead twisted, but she stepped forward, unbowed. The weight of his mother's words clung to Ryan like a shadow as he navigated the morning traffic, his knuckles white on the steering wheel. The therapist's office was in a nondescript building downtown, a place he'd found in a frantic online search the night before. Sleep had evaded him, the empty bed a stark reminder of Aisha's absence. Her scent lingered on the pillows, mocking his solitude. Fix yourself first, his mom had said, her voice echoing the ghosts of his father's temper. Was he really following in those footsteps, using control to mask fear? He arrived early, fidgeting in the waiting room with its calming pastel walls and soft music. Dr. Elena Torres, a no-nonsense woman with kind eyes, greeted him promptly. Ryan, come in. Settling into the leather chair, he spilled it all. The barbecue, the photos, Aisha's fury. I thought I was just showing off how amazing she is, but I was jealous. Seeing my friends look at her, it twisted something inside me. Dr. Torres nodded, her pen scratching notes. Jealous of what exactly? He hesitated, staring at his hands. She's so confident, so alive. Her black beauty stands out everywhere, especially in my world. I love it, but it scares me. Like, what if she realizes she could do better? Those photos, they were my way of saying, she's mine. Stupid, I know. The words hung raw and ugly. Memories flooded. College parties where guys hit on Aisha, his possessive arm around her waist. His father's voice in old home videos, berating his mom for flirting at dinners. I'm like him, Ryan whispered, tears stinging. Controlling because I'm insecure about our differences, race, everything. Dr. Torres leaned forward. Recognition is the first step. This isn't just jealousy. It's rooted in fear of loss. Perhaps societal pressures on interracial couples. But love isn't ownership. What do you feel now? Regret, bone deep. I humiliated her, violated her trust. His voice cracked. She might leave, and I deserve it. Across town, Aisha stirred in Nia's guest bed, sunlight slanting through the blinds. The night had been restless, dreams of exposure morphing into empowerment. She rose, padding to the kitchen where Nia brewed coffee. Morning, sis. You look determined. Aisha accepted a mug, her grip steady. I am. That group you mentioned, I'm going today. Nia smiled. Good. It's at the community center, noon. Black women sharing stories of resilience. You'll fit right in. The meeting was in a cozy room with circular chairs and posters of strong figures like Maya Angelou. About a dozen women gathered, ages varying, but united in their experiences. The facilitator, a warm elder named Ms. Ruby, started. Today we talk about reclaiming our space after betrayal. Aisha listened as others shared, controlling partners, public shames, the added layer of racial dynamics. When her turn came, words tumbled out. My husband showed private photos of me in sexy clothes to his friends. At a barbecue, like I was a joke. It felt dehumanizing, like my black body was his to display. Murmurs of empathy rippled. A woman named Keisha nodded. Girl, I've been there. X aired our laundry at a family gathering, but we rise. You're not defined by his mess. Ms. Ruby added, support is key. Share resources, therapists, legal aid if needed. Aisha left buoyed, a list of contacts in hand. Back at Nia's, she sketched furiously, bold lines capturing a woman breaking chains. This helps, she told Nia, turning pain into art. Ryan's session ended with homework. Journal his insecurities, reflect on his father's patterns. Driving home, he stopped at a park, pulling out a notebook. Fear of not being enough, he wrote. Afraid her light outshines me, especially as a white guy in a mixed marriage. The admission burned, but it freed something too. That evening, he texted Aisha, started therapy today. Miss you, can we talk? Her reply was curt. Not yet, need time. He sighed, the house echoing emptiness. Friends' silences stung. Texts unread, calls dodged. At work the next day, colleagues whispered. His boss emailed, HR chat tomorrow. Rumors affecting team morale. The noose tightened. His mother called again. Proud you're seeking help, but actions speak louder. Aisha, meanwhile, dove into the group chat from the meeting. Messages poured in. You're strong. Share if you need. Keisha invited her to a coffee meetup. We lift each other. Over the week, Aisha explored her options, counseling for herself, even consulting a lawyer quietly. If he doesn't change, I'm out, she confided to Nia. Ryan journaled nightly, unearthing layers. Childhood teasing about fitting in. Societal whispers on interracial dynamics. In his next session, Dr. Torres probed, how does race play into your jealousy? It's everywhere, he admitted. Media, friends' jokes. I feel like I have to guard her from stereotypes, hypersexualized black women. But I ended up perpetuating it by showing those photos. A breakthrough, she said. Now dismantle it. Educate yourself. Books on allyship, anti-racism. He bought titles online, devouring pages on privilege and partnership. Regret morphed into determination. Aisha attended another group session, sharing progress. I'm reclaiming my body, bought new outfits, ones I choose. Applause echoed. She photographed herself in a mirror, fierce and unapologetic, for her eyes only. One night, Ryan drove to Nia's, parking outside. He called Aisha. I'm outside, not pushing. Just wanted to say I'm committed to change. Therapy's opening my eyes to how I hurt you, especially with our differences. She peered from the window, heart conflicted. Words are cheap, Ryan. Show me. I will. Starting with space for you. He drove away, shoulders heavy but steps lighter. Change was painful, slow but possible. Aisha watched his taillights fade, a mix of sorrow and hope stirring. The group had armed her with tools, boundaries, self-love. She texted Keisha, thanks for the support, feeling stronger. As days turned to weeks, Ryan lost more. A promotion stalled, social invites vanished, but he persisted, therapy his anchor. Aisha bloomed in her independence, work thriving, art evolving. The betrayal scarred, but scars built armor. In quiet moments, both wondered if bridges could rebuild. For now, healing was solitary, profound. The solitude stretched like an endless road, weeks bleeding into one another as Ryan delved deeper into the uncharted territories of his psyche. Therapy sessions became his confessional. Dr. Torres, a steady guide through the mire. Let's unpack that entry, she said one afternoon, her office bathed in the golden hue of late sun filtering through blinds. Ryan shifted in his chair, journal open on his lap, pages filled with scrawled admissions. I wrote about the wedding, he began, voice rough. How Aisha looked that day, radiant, her smile lighting up the room. Everyone stared, and I felt proud, but also this panic. Like, she's too good for me. And with our races, I worry people see us and think I'm punching above my weight, or worse, that I'm holding her back. Dr. Torres nodded. That's the insecurity talking. Interracial relationships carry external pressures, stereotypes, judgments, but projecting that onto her by sharing those photos turns your fear into harm. He rubbed his temples, memories assaulting him. Aisha's laughter in their early days, free and unburdened. His subtle shifts to isolation, framing it as protection. I see it now. Like my dad, he'd protect mom by keeping her from friends, saying it was love. I swore I'd be different, but here I am, controlling because I'm scared she'll outgrow me. The words hung heavy, a catharsis laced with pain. What if she does, he whispered. What if therapy's too late? It's never too late for growth, Dr. Torres replied, but it must be for you, not just to win her back. Read that book on allyship. How does it challenge you? Ryan thought of the pages he'd devoured, discussions on white privilege in relationships, the hypersexualization of black women, and how men like him often unwittingly perpetuate harm. It hits hard. I realized showing those sexy photos wasn't pride. It was objectifying her to boost my ego, to claim her in front of the guys. A breakthrough cracked open, tears spilling as he confronted the mirror of his flaws. I love her fire, her independence, but I dimmed it because it threatened mine. Across the city, Aisha embraced her own renaissance. The support group a lifeline in turbulent waters. The community center buzzed with energy that Thursday evening, women arriving with coffee cups and notebooks, their faces a tapestry of shared strength. Ms. Ruby called the circle to order. Tonight we focus on rebuilding, turning scars into stories. Aisha shared first, her voice steadier than before. I've been sketching again, pouring the pain into art. Those photos Ryan shared, they made me feel stripped, but now I'm clothing myself in power. Bought a new wardrobe, pieces that scream me, not approval. Keisha leaned in. Yes, girl, I started journaling after my ex's mess. It's therapy on paper. The group echoed affirmations, sharing tips. Meditation apps for black women, books on self-love, even a referral to a counselor specializing in racial trauma. A newcomer, Tia, opened up about a similar violation. Private pics leaked by a partner. It felt like my body wasn't mine. But here, I see we're reclaiming it. Aisha nodded, a bond forming. Exactly, I'm not hiding anymore. Work's thriving. Landed a promotion on that outreach project. And personally, I'm setting boundaries. Ryan's in therapy, but I'm focusing on me. Post-meeting over herbal tea in the lounge, Keisha pulled her aside. You're inspiring us. Want to co-lead a session next month? Share your art as a healing tool. The invitation warmed her, a validation of her evolution. Back at Nia's, Aisha unpacked her bag. New lingerie, not for show, but for self-celebration. She snapped a mirror selfie, fierce and unfiltered, saving it in a private folder. This is mine, she murmured. Ryan's attempts at contact were measured. A weekly text. Therapy's tough but good. Thinking of you. She replied sparingly. Glad you're working on it. Still need space. One evening, he mustered the courage for a voicemail. Aisha, I get it now. My jealousy stemmed from fear, from not addressing my privileges. I'm reading, learning, not asking for forgiveness yet. Just, I see how I hurt you, especially as a black woman navigating my world. I'm sorry. She listened, heart tugging, but deleted it. Forgiveness wasn't owed. It had to be earned. The group bolstered her, weekend brunches with Keisha and Tia, where laughter drowned sorrow. Men like that think love is possession, Tia said over mimosas. But we're queens. Build your throne. Aisha did, her marketing role expanding into mentorship for young black creatives. Art nights became ritual, canvases alive with bold strokes symbolizing rebirth. Ryan's world shrank further. A demotion at work, whispers in the break room. Heard about the photo thing, a colleague muttered. Social exile stung, but it fueled his resolve. In session, he role-played apologies, practicing humility. One rainy afternoon, Aisha ran into Lisa at the grocery store. Hey, sorry about everything. The group's been talking. Ryan's actions were wrong. Aisha smiled faintly. Thanks, I'm moving forward. That night, Ryan emailed a longer note. No pressure, but therapy's revealing my blind spots. Racial biases I ignored. Control as a crutch. I'm committed to change, for me. Hope you're well. She read it twice, a flicker of hope amid caution. Actions over word, she texted back. The group celebrated small wins. Aisha's first solo art show invite. Keisha's divorce finalization. We're warriors, Ms. Ruby toasted. Ryan volunteered at an anti-racism workshop, absorbing lessons on equity and relationships. Regret lingered, but growth bloomed. As autumn leaves fell, Aisha stood taller, her support network a fortress. Ryan, in his solitude, rebuilt from the ground up. Bridges might mend, but for now, separate paths led to self-discovery. Autumn leaves swirled in the crisp breeze as Aisha stepped out of the community center, her portfolio tucked under her arm, the echoes of applause still ringing in her ears. The support group had evolved into something transformative, a haven where stories of pain birthed collective strength. Tonight marked a milestone, her first co-led session, where she'd unveiled a series of sketches depicting women's journeys from shadows to light. This is us, she'd said, voice steady and resonant, rising from the ashes of betrayal, claiming our narratives. The women had nodded, tears mingling with smiles. Keisha hugged her afterward. You turned your husband's mess into this? Powerful. Aisha smiled, the scar of that barbecue night now a faint line rather than a gaping wound. Months had passed since Ryan's violation, and the sexy photos were shared like casual banter. The gossip had fizzled, replaced by her quiet resurgence. Work flourished, a senior role in marketing, leading diversity initiatives that amplified Black voices. Art became her anchor, exhibitions drawing crowds who saw resilience in every stroke. Home was Nia's spare room no longer. She'd rented a sunlit apartment, walls adorned with her creations. Divorce papers sat signed on her desk, a liberation rather than defeat. It's time, she'd told her lawyer, the weight lifting as ink met paper. Ryan's path paralleled in solitude, his apartment a minimalist echo of their former life. Therapy had stripped him bare, sessions peeling layers of inherited toxicity. Dr. Torres challenged him relentlessly. How will you apply this beyond words? He'd volunteered more, at interracial support groups, facilitating discussions on privilege and partnership. Books stacked his nightstand, works on feminism, anti-racism, and emotional intelligence. The demotion at work stung, but he embraced it as a consequence, channeling energy into a side gig, mentoring young professionals on ethical leadership. One evening, as rain pattered against his window, he penned the letter. Pages of raw honesty, no pleas for reunion. Aisha, I've dismantled the man who hurt you. Therapy revealed my fears, inadequacy in our interracial love, control as a shield against loss. Sharing those photos was my lowest, objectifying you, perpetuating harms I now fight. I'm sorry, profoundly, not for forgiveness, but acknowledgement. You've always been the strong one. I see that clearly now. Wishing you the world you deserve. He mailed it, heart pounding, then attended his workshop, sharing anonymously. I lost my wife by trying to own her. Learn from me. Love liberates, not confines. Aisha received the envelope days later, her fingers tracing the familiar script. She read it in her studio, sunlight dappling the pages. Tears came, not from pain, but release. His words rang true, growth evident, excuses absent. He's changing, she murmured to her reflection. But her world had expanded beyond him. The group thrived under her co-leadership, women flocking to sessions on reclaiming intimacy after violation. Your body, your story, she emphasized, drawing from her ordeal. Tia, now a close friend, collaborated on a pamphlet, Healing from Emotional Exposure. At a local women's conference, Aisha spoke to a packed room. Betrayal stripped me bare, private photos shared without consent, my black essence reduced to spectacle. But I rebuilt. Love isn't possession, it's partnership. Strength blooms in choosing yourself in a community that uplifts. Applause thundered, women approaching afterward with hugs and stories. You gave me courage to leave, one whispered. Her family beamed from the audience. Nia cheering loudest. Proud of you, sis. Ryan heard of the speech through mutual acquaintances, a pang of pride mixing with sorrow. He'd attended similar events, absorbing lessons, but kept his distance. Change was his atonement, not a bid for return. One crisp morning, Aisha strolled a park path, leaves crunching underfoot. A familiar figure approached, Ryan, jogging gear on, surprise etching his face. Aisha, hi. She stopped, composure intact. Ryan. Awkward silence stretched, then he spoke. I saw your conference clip, online buzz. You're incredible. Thanks. Therapy treating you well? He nodded. Transformative. I'm better. Not perfect, but aware. The letter. Did you get it? Yes, it meant something. Her eyes softened. You've grown. Relief washed over him. You too. That group you started, it's making waves. She smiled faintly. Healing others heals me. They parted amicably, no promises, just mutual respect. Ryan jogged on, lighter, his path forward clearer. Aisha continued her walk, the future unfolding like the path ahead, open, hers to shape. In her apartment that night, she lit a candle, reflecting. The betrayal had cracked her world, but from fissures grew strength. True love lifts, she whispered, echoing lessons learned. It never tears down. Ryan, in his space, journaled, She thrives. That's enough. Regret lingered, but so did hope. For himself, for healthier loves ahead. As winter approached, Aisha dated casually, a kind soul who saw her wholly, without possession. Laughter returned, unshadowed. The story closed not in reunion, but renewal. Two souls forged in fire, stepping into their authentic lights. Dignity reclaimed, lessons etched eternal. Love honors, empowers, endures. The crisp autumn air gave way to winter's chill, frost etching delicate patterns on Aisha's apartment windows as she prepared for her first solo art exhibition. The gallery space downtown buzzed with setup activity, canvases propped against walls, lights adjusted to highlight the bold hues of her work. Each piece told a fragment of her journey, swirling abstracts of betrayal's storm, evolving into vibrant portraits of reclamation. Empowered Echoes, she'd titled the show, a nod to the voices that had lifted her from the depths. Keisha arrived early, arms laden with flyers. Girl, this is it. Your story on display, without anyone's permission but yours. Aisha laughed, hugging her friend. Couldn't have done it without the group. You all gave me the courage. The opening night drew a crowd. Colleagues, family, even strangers drawn by local buzz. Nia circulated, beaming as she pointed out pieces. That's her heart right there, she told a guest, gesturing to a canvas of a woman shattering chains, her form rendered in deep ebony tones accented with gold. Aisha mingled, her new dress, a flowing garnet number she'd chosen for its unapologetic flair, swishing with each step. Compliments flowed. Your work speaks volumes, inspiring resilience. But beneath the praise, she felt whole, her black essence celebrated on her terms. Across town, Ryan bundled against the cold, his breath fogging as he entered the community hall for another workshop. He'd become a regular facilitator, guiding discussions on healthy relationships. Tonight's topic, breaking cycles of control. He shared sparingly from his story, no names, just lessons. I once thought jealousy was love's shadow, but it poisoned everything. Therapy taught me to confront my privileges, my fears. Now I advocate for equity, listening, not leading. Participants nodded, one young man confessing similar struggles. Ryan offered resources, feeling the quiet satisfaction of amends. His life had simplified, a steady job in consulting, evenings filled with reading and reflection. Dating remained distant, self-work came first. News of Aisha's exhibition reached him via a mutual friend, a casual text. Saw her show listed. Looks amazing. He smiled bittersweetly, pride swelling for the woman he'd nearly broken. No urge to attend. That chapter was hers alone. Opening night peaked with a toast. Aisha raised her glass. To turn pain into power, to communities that heal, into futures we author ourselves. Cheers erupted, glasses clinking. Later, as guests thinned, a gallery curator approached. Your voice is unique, raw, authentic. We'd love a series on Black women's narratives. Aisha's eyes sparkled. Let's talk. Winter deepened, snow blanketing the city in quiet renewal. Ryan volunteered at a shelter, serving meals and sharing stories of growth. One evening, a letter arrived, his mother's handwriting. Proud of the man you're becoming. Your father never changed, you did. He teared up, replying with gratitude. Change wasn't linear, but persistent. Aisha's group expanded, partnering with local organizations for workshops. She dated Marcus, a gentle artist who saw her as a partner, not a possession. Their first outing, a museum stroll, felt light, unburdened. One snowy afternoon, paths crossed again. A coffee shop, Ryan grabbing a latte, Aisha with sketches in hand. Recognition sparked. Ryan, she said neutrally. Aisha, you look happy. I am, a pause. Heard you're facilitating groups. Good work. Thanks. Your exhibition. Congrats. Deserved. They chatted briefly. Surface topics, no delving into past wounds. Parting, he said, take care. You too. No lingering glances, just closure's gentle click. Spring thawed the ice, blooming possibilities. Aisha's series launched, with acclaim following. Ryan advanced in his role, mentoring with empathy born of experience. Their stories diverged, yet intertwined in lessons learned. Love's true form, respectful, freeing. Betrayal's sting faded, replaced by self-forged strength. In quiet moments, Aisha gazed at her art, whispering, I chose me. Ryan, journaling under stars, wrote, Grateful for the fall, it taught me to rise. Lives rebuilt, hearts mended, not together, but whole. As the seasons turned, Aisha and Ryan carved their separate paths, each a testament to resilience and redemption. From betrayal's ashes, Aisha forged a legacy of empowerment, her art illuminating untold stories. Ryan, humbled, dedicated himself to growth, breaking cycles of control. Their journeys, though apart, wove a universal truth. Love honors, never binds. Thank you for joining their story. Your support means the world. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share our channel for more tales of triumph. Stay tuned, and let's keep inspiring together.